Welcome to the Trader's Help Desk Online Video Collection. In this video, I'm interested in taking a long position on gold, which is counter-trend trading, but both the 12-minute and the 45-minute are showing volume divergence and an oversold condition on the ADX. So I believe that they will test for buyers on the 45-minute because we've had the volume divergence. Now, the problem this morning is the market's real volatile. So the issue is being able to enter into a low risk position. I'm looking to actually enter off of 1 minute with a bounce down off of the ATR that would potentially give me a low risk entry. Now I'm going to pause the screen while I'm waiting on entry, and then I'll resume. Okay, got an entry on the 1 minute at 1428.9. We've made a higher low on decreasing volume. Clipper 1 on this trade is 1431.3. This is a very, very aggressive entry into what I believe will be retracement on both the 12 and the 45. They were just testing for sellers again on the 1 minute. And of course it was lower volume again, which is what you would expect for the price to go upwards. So what I would like to see now is some strong buying coming in. Okay, I'm fixing to get Clipper 1. Just got Clipper 1. And this is the 1 minute chart. What you can see, and this was very critical to me. You had a low here, followed by a new low here, and it was on decreasing volume. That's the volume, typical trend behavior of volume. We had already touched the ATR. We had already bounced off of the ATR. So I knew this would be probably a very safe entry for me. Again, it is very, very aggressive entry mechanism. The only reason I was looking at it is because we have a 12-minute ADX that is at 83.8. We have a 45-minute that came back to the THD zones over here, did so on diverging volume. So even though I'm reading this one intra-bar as it stands right now, and it's got about 20 more minutes to form, you can see that these zones are offering support for price to go up. If it does go up, we would anticipate it coming back to the ATR over here. So this was a very, very aggressive entry mechanism. You do see that buyers are increasing now, which is what we would anticipate. Clipper 2 is at 1433.7. I need to see some more buy-in volume come in, because otherwise they're going to come back and they're going to test for sellers. And right now my stop is actually at 1429.1. See if I can get that on here. And let me change the color so you'll know. Okay, you can see on the 1 minute chart you're getting some divergence here. That tells me they're going to come back and test for sellers. The magenta peak is starting to come in on the 12 minute, and hopefully that will push price up towards the ATR, which is currently at 1438.8. Again, you're seeing the buy-in divergence. So now they're going to test for sellers. Okay, if I can get a new high here, then I could move my stop up. Right now I can't move it up. Okay, we've had divergence on the seller side, so we should go up and make a new high now. That's what I would be anticipating. At the same time, I'm also watching the 12-minute chart. You can see we had the magenta peak come in. I would like to see it close above the high of this bar, because that would give me a new high in price as well. That's just typical price behavior. And that's actually taught in our e-course and at the seminars. And again, this is really the type of trading that is for what I would call very, very experienced traders. It's not for beginning traders. We haven't been able to close above the high of that bar, but I'm still expecting a new high here. Now remember, the yellow lines are the new THD zone indicators. The green lines are my profit targets. I need a new high here so I can move my stop up again. Normally I do not show the 1 minute because traders get enticed by the 1 minute and try to trade the 1 minute in isolation. It is very, very critical that you understand I am only using the 1 minute to obtain a very low risk entry, which this morning was 12 ticks, which was low risk for gold this morning because most of them have been 30 or 40 ticks. Okay, we're now making a new high, so I'm immediately going to raise my stop up. Oop, wrong line. Let me get the... So now this low was at 1430.2, so I'm going to put my stop at 1430.1. If we touch Clipper 2, I will then raise my stop to Clipper 1. It was extremely critical for me to see the divergence and the oversold conditions on both the 12 and the 45. I'm still watching the 12-minute chart. We have about 3 minutes left. I really want to see a close above the high of the previous bar. The previous bar high was 1431.7. Notice that I'm not reading a lot off of the 1 minute. All of my reading is actually coming from the 12 minute and the 45 minute. And we are oversold on both the RSI and the ADX on both of those time frames. Without that occurring, I would not be in this trade. It is a counter trend trade. Counter trend trading is very hard to do. You're trying to time the market bottoms or where it makes a retracement. So it's very hard to do. Very important not to read this bar as volume divergence. It was not higher than the previous high, so it is not volume divergence. We got about another minute before the bar on the 12-minute closes. It just closed. The high was at 1433. The high of the previous bar was 1431.7. That is significant because that should drive price upwards. That's just typical price behavior. I've also got two stops running here. If this was to close below this ATR, which is this blue cross sign, I would be out. If it touches the magenta line, I would be out. It's coming back to test the slow moving average right now. They're putting a lot of volume into this bar. Not really getting a lot of reward though. It closed above the high of the previous bar, so we should get a new high on this bar. I know we just had a new high when compared to this bar because I have a yellow dot. Now I would like to see it go and take out this high. If it does that, then we'll have a magenta dot. Clipper 2. Now my stop is at Clipper 1. If I can move this up real quick. Okay, sorry about that. I couldn't get it moved up and positioned correctly. So we've made Clipper 1 and we have made Clipper 2. Nice, healthy volume in this trend right now. Comes back to Clipper 1, we're guaranteed at least 24 ticks. Clipper 2 was 48 ticks. Right now the ATR over on the 12 minute is at 1438.4. There was quite a bit of difference between where price was and the ATR was. That was also very important to me. I didn't want to get into a trade for 8 ticks. Gold has been very, very volatile this morning. If we had seen, well, I'll pull it the 45 minute. If we had seen the 45 minute at 76 but no volume divergence, I would not have entered that trade. There are many, many components as to why I would have entered this trade. Number one, I'm an expert at reading volume. I'm also an expert at my tools. I've put hours and hours into this. So if you are a beginning trader or you do not understand volume analysis, I definitely would not recommend that you do this. You've got to put the time in the training into learning price behavior and volume analysis before you try to take this type of trade. Right now we're coming back and we're making a double bottom. It's doing it on diverging volume, which is good for a trade. If you allow the 1 minute to entice you into trading it by itself, you will get chopped up really bad. Again, slightly less volume on this one. The one thing that I would be concerned about right now, and the bar's still building and it's got another 5 minutes, but you are seeing divergence on the highs on the 12 minute. So again, just something I'm watching. I do have a stop in. You do see you've got divergence here on the low so far. Normally that will push price upwards. If we get a new high, I could also move my stop up. Shrink this down some so I can grab a hold of the stop if I need to. Again, you're getting divergence on the lows. We're expecting it to make a new high. You cannot move the stop up until you make that new high. Okay, I just typed down what the targets were and what we received for each target. So Clipper 1 we had 24 ticks. Clipper 2 was 48 ticks. And if we get to Clipper 3, it will be 72 ticks. In order to move my stop up again, I do need a new high. Current high is 1434.6. I would like to see it close above this yellow line, the green line. They coincide with each other right now. We've got about 3 minutes left in the 12 minute. Really need to see some more buy-in volume coming in. Just looking at this bar, it did not close above the high of the previous bar. This high was 1433.3. This close was 1433.3, so it closed equal to, and equal to is not the same. It doesn't tell me that we're going to make a new high. It is much stronger if you close above that high. And right now I'm actually looking at 1434.6 as a new high, so I can move my stop up. Also, again, I'm still watching that 12-minute to see if we get buy-in divergence. Notice the volume divergence right now between this high and the current high. Okay, I'm going to move my stop up to one tick below this low, which will be 0.4. By the time we get this done, we're probably going to have Clipper 3. Okay, we did not come in with buy-in divergence on the 12-minute. That's really good for us. We are getting buy-in divergence here, but we're just a couple of ticks away from Clipper 3. Let's see if we get it. I do have my stop set to 1432.4. Okay, I'm going to pause my screen just a moment. I've got to let a client know that I'm going to be late to a meeting. So give me just a minute. Okay, it's still in the trade. I just had to send a quick email to a client that I've got a session with at 9. Now we do have divergence here, so we could get a test for sellers right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move my stop up to Clipper 2. So either way, I've locked in the 42 ticks on that. So that one would be 0.7 is where my stop is. I'm just not going to let that profit get away from me now. So either we get Clipper 3 or I'll remain with Clipper 2. And let me change this to magenta. Take this one off. $1433.7 will bring us out. Let's see if it's got enough juice to pop up there and get Clipper 3. Okay, so we got Clipper 2 twice. So we had actually 48, 48, and 24. Nice trade. I guess I spread that out too much. You couldn't see what I was doing. We got actually 248 profit targets on that because our stop was at 48. And then we also got 24 ticks on the first one. Very, very nice trade.